Hi guys, so I would say this video, just in case that you don't know that I'm always unconventional, will be even more so a little bit odd, because this will be kind of my annual recap of everything. I will talk about everything that went this year, what I plan for next year, so it could be quite long. After about 20 minutes or so there will be a little cut, because then my audio gets out of sync with the video. But just so you know that the topic should be still there, that's not the issue, but actually why this camera is, let me quickly get it off the way, is a little bit odd, and I will have to move the audio a little bit around for later, because I want to show you my PC, because actually this video also gives me a good chance to play with my, as you can see here, 3-monitor setup that now actually works with all three. The PC, actually, you can see it right now, here it is. Let's put the mic a little bit out of the way. Like I said, this will be very, very odd, at least for the beginning. I just want to show you the PC for all the people who maybe care about it. I know I wanted to make a build log for it, which won't happen because I haven't... Wait. Why is this moving? Should be fine. So I wanted to make a build log and everything else, but since I haven't built a PC in a long time anymore, I wasn't really secure and I didn't know how to film it properly and all that. So just keep that in mind, just for you to quickly see. It's definitely nothing special. And if you want to skip that, that's absolutely fine with me. A little bit more light. No, actually doesn't really make a difference, but let me try to, yeah, that actually works better. So if you're not interested in the PC, no problemo. And this is actually one thing, I'm not quite sure if this is actually properly, but it's always showing 40 if everything is booted up. It says it's something, it has to do something with the drive, so I'm not quite sure. I always expect it to be something like FF or Fatal 3 or something, but maybe this changed with time. I'm not clear if I actually managed to say this. If you want to skip the part not being interested, just go to the time codes, jump over that, and I will quickly go over the PC, because maybe I will talk about it a little bit more in my whole, what was it, the new setup tour I'm planning on doing, if the setup is actually finished, because then I plan on changing some things with the acoustics still, and a few minor stuff. It's definitely not that much, but as you can already see here, cable management has to be done. I want to replace all the 3 foots here with one triple monitor stand to just have a little bit more space available, and it will look cleaner and all that. But now let's get to the PC real quick. Fractal Design R5 case, this time in white. The first time I used it on my PC in my living room, I was super happy with that. But I am not anymore, because I'm not quite sure why, but this time I had a so much harder time to get actual cable management done, and I really wasn't happy with that. This time it was quite odd. You can't see the back, of course, of that, and I gotta say the cable management right now doesn't look great either, because this is definitely not the best fit. But since I don't really have anything in there, there's only one SSD on the back, which is an 850 Aero from Samsung. 500 gigs should be fine enough for right now. The CPU is an Intel 6700K Skylake that can be overclocked. I haven't done it yet. Maybe I will in the future, because I'm planning to. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought the water cooling, which is an Corsair H110i GTX. And here is my main gripe with it, the fans. If you want high power, they can go to up like, I think, 2800 RPM, and then they are very loud but powerful. Yes, that's nice, but on the lowest setting they were like at 870 RPM, which is just way too much. So what did I took out this fan case and the one I had in the front already, used them both, and now they are my main fans, and I have to get one here because to exhaust the heat out of it. Because right now I'm at a temperature, I'm idling at about, what do I actually have? Let me quickly check that. Right now the CPU is at 20 degrees, so yeah, I think that's great, and the fans are both spinning at 460 RPM. That's the lowest it can go. But even under full load, I just did a quick test. They went up to like 900 because I think that's the maximum. They're audible, but still quiet. In this setting right now with 460, they are pretty much absolutely inaudible. The only thing that I hear is the pump of the Corsair. It makes this small little grinding noise. That's one thing that I'm not so happy with, and actually why I did this thing. Because on the door, you have the normal padding here, but what I did, as you can see here, did some extra padding on it to make it thicker. So it doesn't really help, but it's better than, maybe you can see the original one here. The original is just this thin piece. That is just not enough to prevent any sound. This one didn't really help much either, and I'm not super happy with the acoustics of this case because it seems like the noise is going out through it, mostly because here on this part already. So this is where they lose a lot of heat, or of course they need it for the intake for the vents and all that, but I'm not so happy with that. So what we have here are G-Skill 16 gigabytes, so two sticks of 8, because if I still have 2x8, I have the option to go for 2 8s more. Then I have 32 gigabyte RAM, it's 2800 megahertz DDR4. So I definitely wanted the option to go for 32 if I need to. 16 for right now seems to be fine. My card is the MSI Gaming for G970 GTX. For the CPU, actually a little bit underpowered, but for what I do, it was, in terms of value, just the best decision. And for gaming, so far the 970 for 1440p seems absolutely fine. The board is an, as you can see, Maximus 8 Hero from ASUS. From my first thoughts about on the BIOS, I'm not so happy. The UEFI seems to be a cluttered mess. I have to get around it. I didn't really check it too much because I didn't have the nerve for it, and I actually noticed that this is something that I don't like at all. But I have to see, because it actually sticks. Maybe if you saw it, it pushes into this part of the case, so maybe I have to check that. But that's fine. Otherwise, the Corsair R750 has Corsair Link. This blinking actually is normal, even though it looks wrong because there is an orange light. I'm not so happy with that. But right now, with the current fans, it's absolutely quiet, powerful enough. Definitely, I can finally run my triple monitor setup. So overall, it's okay, but honestly, I expected, and actually it never really properly closes for some reason. Okay, we are done. Let's take it back a little bit. And no, this is not, as you can see where it stands actually, this is not its final position. This is just because I still need to buy, that's not the final position, because I have to get the fans and make some final adjustments. But otherwise, that's it for the PC build. Let's get to the topics, and let me just adjust the camera. As you can see, this video, even more so than usually, totally unprepared. And actually about the topics, not really any yet. Sounds odd, because I usually at least have some topics prepared, but I wanted to do this because the camera always adjusts it a little bit. So let's wait a second. A little bit more. Okay, this should do the trick. Let me adjust it. Okay, now we are back. And that's actually one thing that you can see why I have to change something about this monopod. It is not parallel, as you can see here. It's a little bit wrong. But I'm working on that. I did already a few adjustments because it's a monopod, because to save a little bit space here when walking. And I just noticed if I don't make this adjustment, it was falling off or leaning over and falling down way too often. So I made a different base seems to be okay for now. So yeah, one quick, since this is kind of the recap of the year, it could be quite long because it's already 10 minutes just me talking about the PC and not even talking a lot about it. But why I want to do is like this is because these videos I'm completely unprepared, and actually you know a lot more about the topics that happen or will happen because you see the rundown on the screen that I until this time don't. And since I don't, usually I at least have the topics prepared, this time not. But I actually enjoy it this way because it's so much more natural when you if you don't even have any topics prepared. Okay, the topics, yes, but not really exactly knowing what I'm actually talking. I know what I'm talking about, but not what I'm actually going to say. I get you. I expect you get what I mean. So let's just go through the topics, and then I will actually go to the recap and everything. That is completely off topic, but I have a few topics still. The first one is, and actually they were made by like a week ago, and I have no clue what they are actually. So let's see them actually. Seem to miss how much a geek of I am. Yes, that was one of the comments I got from, I think, my last rambling, where it said, I'm new here on this channel, I like it, seems nice. I'm not completely sure what it said, but it said also that most of the topics I was talking about, the technical stuff, were over her head and she didn't even understand, but it was still interesting to listen to. And I think this makes me kind of miss often, or because of this I noticed. Sorry, I missed the mic. Sorry. So now you could actually hear me. I messed that up. I hope the audio will be okay. I should have used my laugh, but I don't like the sound of it so much. So, and I noticed that when I actually talk about tech so much that I often don't even notice how much of a geek I am. And the things I talk about often go way over the heads of some more average users. But what I always expect is that people actually are more into tech that subscribe to my channel, and those usually know what I'm actually talking about. But I get it, most of them aren't that much into some of the at least more detail and more less important of the less important things that I talk about that don't really interest everyone and don't really are things that everyone gets into, so they wouldn't actually know it. But yeah, next topic, put giveaway in the title and it gets spam. Because on my last video I think in the title it said giveaway intentions or something like that. And I actually got one comment, or it was I think even a private message that said, wow, great, you make a giveaway, blah 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 blah. If you want to join or participate on more, join our giveaway. And I thought, wait, I never did a giveaway, I didn't even talk about it. But I think pretty much just because giveaway was kind of in the title, it was already enough for some spam bots to attack me in terms of giveaway. And I think that's so silly, but yeah, that's just one. Then I want Amoled, but there's a small selection. So I said it, I think already like half a year ago, that I want. I think it was actually when I reviewed the Samsung Galaxy S6 and I was so blown away by the screen. I said I definitely want Super AMOLED as my next screen on my next phone. But it's super limited. Actually, it's quite nice that a few more companies are going to Super AMOLED, like Huawei did on their Mate S with the Nexus 6P. Then OnePlus did on their One X. Samsung is doing it anyways, but that's also already pretty much it. I think Oppo does a few, but from all the brands that I am interested in, it looks a little bit worse because Sony doesn't make AMOLED and they don't even make that screens in first place. Their viewing angles are off, their color, their contrast is a little bit off, so that's why I don't think I will go for Sony next time. LG is very high up on my list, especially because of the LG G5 that is rumored to have 5.3 inches, which seems to be more of my size again. And they don't make AMOLED. They make a really nice screen, definitely, but it's no AMOLED. And I just want, mostly because of the blacks, a Super AMOLED again. Then what else? Motorola did and ditched it already, the Super AMOLED screen. So if they would go back, then yes, because the design. So if they actually go back to Super AMOLED, they would be one of the biggest contenders for me if they go to a smaller size again with a powerful package, because their ergonomics were nice What else is there? Nexus is way too late. I won't wait another year for that, but all the current ones are just not my thing, because the Nexus 5X, as quite nice as it is, for me still just a higher mid-ranger. I want the flagship, and the 6P is just for big for me. I am not okay with that. So it looks a little bit odd. And someone just asked me today if I would maybe consider the S7 because it has the great screen and I'm okay with the software and all that. And pretty much the only thing why I don't want an Samsung, even how amazing is it would be, is the one thing, and it's a super minor thing, totally irrelevant, but the gesture, if you want to drop down the notification bar with any app, just doesn't work on a Samsung device, no matter what you do. This kind of, I already talked about, it was kind of, is something that they pulled out of the system, because no matter app I use, the gesture doesn't show up, and I would have to swipe from the top, which I on no phone ever do, because the first thing I do is on every phone install is Smart Task Launcher, and then I have on the right screen, and I can actually show this. Let me quickly get out of the screen. So what I do is press long, and the shade opens. So as you can see, this is just way easier for me, because if I hold it in one hand, I just press and the bar goes down. So then I never have to reach for it. And on Samsung device that doesn't work, and no matter how big the device is, even on a 5-inch, it's sometimes a little bit odd to stretch that high to just get it down. So I prefer it, and it doesn't work on a Samsung. And that for me, just this minor little thing is already enough to be a deal breaker. Unless maybe everything else is super amazing, but I highly doubt it. And like I said, this minor thing is already enough. So next topic is I don't own shit. What that is about is I got a commenter asking me if I would donate him or give away him my Mate S. And then I said, no, I don't own an, I think it was the Mate S. I don't own a Mate S. That was just a review unit. And I think a few people don't actually know that all of my review units, except the few devices that I own on myself, are review units. I don't own them at all. I have them for 2 weeks and that's it. And that's okay. My loyal subscribers or the long-time subscribers definitely know that. So I don't have to explain it. But a few people maybe aren't really aware of that enough, because I also, for when I unboxed the Samsung Galaxy S5 Neo, got a comment, hey, dude, did you know that your S5 Neo was a used one? And I said, it's a review loaner. What else should it be? What is it supposed to be? Of course I knew it, because it... okay, if someone, but I said even it's a review, and I think so, and I think it's pretty much clear that these are review units. I don't think it has an impact on my anything else, but yeah, that's it. There was also a thing last week with one of my viewers. I had to block him. He knows who I'm talking about, and a few others also. I posted this on G+, and I'm not going to discuss this any further. He is a lousy, stupid, annoying fanboy. Not going into any much further into that, because that's just way lower of my limit. I don't have to talk about it. Fanboys. Yeah, no need to discuss that. So we are 80 minutes in. I will stop it real quick so it won't get out of sync too much, and then I will continue with the recap of the year. So watch out for that.